matter where you are in the world, if you're Australian and things go wrong, there's always one place you can turn. The Embassy. Tonight on the show, he swore he had the GoPro evidence. So why is he lying to the police?
I had it on my chest, so when I landed it just went...
Paris's kiddie passport.
How old were you when this passport was issued?
13.
Lands her in Ho Chi Minh hot water.
If I don't get my birth certificate, my holiday is pretty much over, yeah.
He's panicking. He said money's no object, he just wants to help his baby.
And the amazing Twibblings, 10 years in the making.
We did years and years of IVF.
But will baby Ava ever get to see her brother?
I so desperately loved her and wanted to come home.
The Kingdom of Thailand. Where millions of Aussies come to unwind, get ripped, and live it up without a worry in the world. But here, in the land of smiles, when cultures collide, dream holidays can turn into nightmares in a matter of moments. And you never think it's going to happen to you.
It's Trudy from the Australian Embassy in Bangkok. How are you?
Around the world, our embassies are a lifeline for thousands of Aussies every month.
Another Monday morning full of cables and emails all coming in. Motorcycle accident, mother's worried, doesn't know his medical condition, so we'll get on that one.
For diplomat Trudy McGowan and the consular team here in Bangkok, diplomacy never sleeps. The troubles and mishaps just keep on coming. At the embassy in Bangkok,
be speaking. ได้ครับ ขอบคุณครับ คุณมนัสครับ Hello, it's Callum speaking.
it's another manic Monday.
Reach me on my mobile.
Trudy straight onto the case of the injured motorbike rider who's banged up in a public hospital in Phuket.
I was on a Harley and he come next to me and my handlebars got stuck on the back of his tray and punctured my leg and dragged me about 20 metres down the road.
Yuck. I'd probably say more often I'm phoned by a funeral director or a hospital in relation to a motorcycle accident than I'm phoned by the actual person.
28-year-old Nathan is a contract scaffolder from the Gold Coast. He's on a fantasy holiday for a man obsessed with his body, juicing up on growth hormones and steroids, all freely available over the counter in Phuket.
Just getting on the fucking gear over here.
And he's recording it all on his GoPro camera.
This is me morning breakfast, mate. A bit of M-trope and a bit of growth, you know.
Nathan's also made a point of meeting the locals. It's not everyone's idea of holiday fun, but Nathan's in paradise. But even paradise can get ugly. This was the moment when it all went pear-shaped. Seriously hurt, uninsured, and on the police radar, the embassy is his only hope.
That's the vehicle. I'm supposed to fly out tomorrow and the police took my passport and then they're trying to charge $5,000. There's no fucking way I'm paying that.
Okay, what police station is it?
Nathan left his passport as a deposit for the rented motorbike. It's now in the hands of police until his case is sorted out.
He wants to leave Phuket tomorrow and the motorcycle company is apparently demanding $5,000.
But money's the least of his worries. He needs urgent medical care. Australians love Asia. So close, yet so different. But wherever there are Aussies, there's bound to be trouble. And that's where the embassy comes in. In Vietnam, 19-year-old first-time traveller Paris has hit a massive Ho Chi Minh
The
pothole.
problem is I have less than 6 months on my passport. Now that I'm trying to get visas for other countries, they just won't give them to me because my passport's just out of date.
Paris has been here in Vietnam having the gap year adventure of a lifetime.
I wanted to go to Bangkok, Malaysia, China, and you need longer than 6 months on your passport to go to those places, which I've only just found out.
She's desperately hoping the embassy can save her from having to return to Sydney.
We get a lot of people who, to be honest, don't come prepared for travelling overseas. They think they're still in Australia. How old were you when this passport was issued? 14?
13.
And that's the big pothole. Paris is hot-footing it round Asia on a child's passport. And getting a replacement adult one will not be easy.
Because this was a child's passport, not a full adult passport, we will need your birth certificate. I'm assuming you're not travelling with your birth certificate.
I don't even think I have one at home.
Yeah, it's
With all the flights for the rest of her trip fully booked and non-refundable, time is the one thing Paris does not have. Will this be her final gap year memory?
If I don't get my birth certificate, my holiday is pretty much over. Yeah, I have to go home.
Time will tell. Back in Bangkok,
The hospital that he went to did...
Trudy's on the phone to bodybuilder Nathan's mum in Australia,
What I wanted to
asking if she can pay for a private hospital where Nathan's injuries can get the urgent medical attention they need.
the money.
Fine, we've got money.
Great news. Thank God she says she's got the money. Nathan doesn't have any travel insurance. Always a big mistake when you're travelling. We've seen lots of cases where people don't have insurance and their medical bills have got up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Families have to take out mortgages. People are financially ruined for the rest of their lives.
The ambulance arrives for Nathan.
Infections in a tropical climate can go really bad really quickly. I've seen people have their leg amputated because they had an infected toe.
You have the X-ray.
They didn't give me X-ray.
Don't give anything.
No good.
Nathan's changing hospitals, but he's not leaving without his growth hormones.
Can't forget me human grace, mate.
Meanwhile, Trudy and her team have fresh news about his passport.
Kunji have contacted the police in Caron, who Nathan said was holding the motorbike and his passport, and asking him for 150,000 baht. The police officer who's in charge says that's not true at all. She's asked to have a meeting with Nathan, the tuk-tuk company, and the motorbike shop. And as I'm going to be in Phuket anyway, I've said I'll go to the meeting.
Give me some morphine.
Tomorrow, all parties involved will meet to establish who's at fault and who'll pay the $5,000 for the bike. The tuk-tuk driver or bodybuilder Nathan. Coming up, baby Ava's got holes in her heart. Can Trudy reunite the Twiblings in time?
My biggest worry is that I never get to hold her.
So tough.
And he's been stuck in Vietnam for 2 long years, trying to get his dog home.
This ain't your day.
Is this the end of the road for the fur child? Vietnam. The road less travelled. At the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City, 19-year-old Paris is back with her birth certificate.
I called my mum, and my mum, legend, actually went and got it for me. And then Dad sent a guarantor for me, and they both sent back food with each package. So, worked out all right, yeah.
Without a new passport, Paris's gap year adventure will be history. Lick so, as the locals say.
I'm just hoping there's nothing wrong with it because now there's just no time to send it back at all. So if something's wrong, I'm gone.
But as Steph and Twee go through Paris's application, they discover a new roadblock.
I can see some white dot here. You can see it from here.
Do you have any other passport photos? Looks like it's been photoshopped. If we submit it, Canberra will probably reject this one.
I don't.
Passport photos are never great, but Paris's glamour shot is a total flop. In Phuket, Trudy arrives at Nathan's hospital.
Just here?
She's here for a crucial meeting about who's to blame for Nathan's motorbike crash with all parties involved. The owner of the Harley, the tuk-tuk driver and the police, including the local superintendent.
Nathan.
The superintendent is worried that this $5,000 figure that everybody's talking about looks like a police bribe. So he's come down to the meeting to tell Nathan this $5,000, it's got nothing to do with the police.
But Nathan seems more worried about his shrinking muscle tone.
This will set me back. This was 2 months ago. I can get back into that shape in maybe 3 months.
I'll just tell him we're coming in.
I've told Nathan he can't swear, no swearing. He needs to respect the Thai culture. He needs to acknowledge that the superintendent has come here. That's a high-ranking police officer.
After the accident, Nathan told police that he'd filmed the crash on his GoPro camera.
Camera recorded.
That's broken.
Where?
That's broken. Broken? Yeah.
You have it here?
But now he claims the GoPro was destroyed in the crash.
Because I had it on my chest, so when I landed, it just went.
Okay.
Why is he lying? It's the only way to prove his innocence. It's not long before the police start talking about a worst-case scenario.
After we can prove who are right and who are wrong, for police, we make the report and send to the court.
How long do you think it will take for court?
2 months.
2 months.
Yes.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Fucking straight.
That's right. We can talk.
Watching the situation carefully, I don't think he's behaving with the amount of respect that I would like to see.
Not something to negotiate now.
He could end up going to jail.
Things are spinning out of control. Trudy calls time out.
Just 1 minute, and then we can talk. Okay. Do you think if you had that footage, it would show that it's not your fault?
I've got the footage.
Does it show that it's not your fault?
Yeah, but it's got pornos and shit on it.
So this is kind of awkward. You know, I've just been in the room. Nathan has lied to the police, which can be serious. But what he's lied about is something kind of silly. So I'm just going to tell him he was embarrassed. Who wants their bedroom private videos out in the foreign police force? I mean, nobody.
And I've just gone like that.
But before handing over the footage to police, Trudy wants an advanced screening first. Things are about to get interesting. In Ho Chi Minh City, Paris is terrified that her end-of-school gap-year adventure will come tumbling down, all because of a touched-up photo.
They're like 50 kilometres back, and then they like zoom in. You're like, why don't you just stand closer to me?
To get a new passport, Paris needs a photo that hasn't been tampered with.
If we can get a different photo, if you have any.
Oh, I have so much stuff. What about these ones?
Oh, so you've got some other photos?
Yeah, but they're really bad. They're really bad.
Everyone's passport photos are shocking.
Yeah, but this is like a criminal mugshot, like.
Vanity versus verification. A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
This one's good. It doesn't look photoshopped at all.
That's
And this one's guaranteed as well. Okay.
Yeah, that one's guaranteed. Yeah.
Your face
Don't
looks-
worry, you look radiant this one.
I say yes, so we can take the payment today.
So that means when I put my payment in, I get a new passport.
Yeah, pretty much guaranteed.
Oh, that's the best $250 I've ever spent.
Paris's passport will be ready in 3 weeks.
I got a receipt and everything.
You need to sign it.
Oh, I need to sign it, jokes.
Happy days. The adventure continues.
I was never good at dancing, so.
At the embassy an urgent new case.
So if we could do an ambulance, I think that'd be better for him. Then he doesn't have to worry about where he's going.
A very sick baby girl needs to be transferred to a specialist hospital in Bangkok. Trudy has just spoken to the baby's dad, Sean.
When Sean's very stressed out, he's speaking really fast, he's panicking, he said money's no object, he just wants to help his baby. We just want to help him as much as we can.
Irish-born Sean travelled to Bangkok from Melbourne for the birth of his daughter Ava, delivered by a Thai surrogate 4 days ago. Doctors discovered 3 holes in baby Ava's heart, and she's now at risk of acute heart failure. There's no time to waste. Sean wants baby Ava moved from a maternity hospital to the best neonatal care unit in the country. Another time-critical transfer.
I'm just going to send him a text. He's kind of frantic, so...
But baby Ava isn't the only brand new addition to Sean's family. Halfway across the world, in Melbourne, wife Danielle is looking after their son, Ethan.
Ava, it's your sister.
Baby Ava and her brother Ethan are twiblings, siblings born just 4 weeks apart, carried by 2 different surrogates.
Saying hi, Ethan.
Ava by a paid surrogate in Thailand, and Ethan by Danielle's best friend Renee in Melbourne. Surrogacy was their last and only option after the heartbreak of losing a child.
We did years and years of IVF, unsuccessful, until finally in 2011 we fell pregnant with my first son, Aiden. He was such a fighter. He was a kicker and a screamer, and he had so much personality.
But after just a few days in this world, little Aiden couldn't fight anymore.
Losing a child is something that no person should ever have to go through, because when you have children, you would throw yourself in front of a truck for them. You would do anything to protect them and ensure that they have a happy life. And when you can't do that and they take their last breath in your arms, it's devastating and it changes you for life.
Now, with her baby daughter Ava at risk of acute heart failure, Danielle is terrified that history will repeat itself.
My biggest worry at the moment is Ava not coming home on the plane. That I never get to hold her, that she goes into heart failure and then I don't get there in time, and that I don't get to tell her that I've spent my whole life dreaming about her and how I so desperately love her and want her to come home.
Coming up.
They could lock me up, make me a Thai citizen, I don't know, I'm not too sure.
Fears run wild for the bodybuilder. Can Mum Wendy save the day?
Sorry, I just feel really emotional. It's all about a boat.
That's a side view of her.
And Captain Hartley...
I showed a bit of paper, says, I'm not a bloody cap, I'm not stuffing cap.
...doesn't want to be a captain anymore.
I got mad and they threw the passport back at me.
But who's laughing now? The Embassy. A port in the roughest of storms.
I better tell you a story, little story, what happened. We're Australian. We come over to Thailand.
At the front counter, Queensland sun lovers Hartley and Carol.
We're going to take the boat to Australia, and Harbour Master couldn't speak English. He gave us a hell of a time.
Have run aground.
Would you please take a seat in room 4 next to my room?
Okay, thank you.
Hartley and Carol have come in today, 2 old salty shipmates, with their issue of not being able to leave the country. It's all about a boat.
And not just any boat.
That's a side view of her.
Their boat, the Jim Jam.
I took that photo for my son to show him I've been doing a bit of work on it.
For the last 2 weeks, the salty shipmates have been living on their boat, enjoying the best Thailand has to offer.
He's in here.
He's in room 4.
Now they want to fly to Burma to have more holiday fun, but Thai immigration won't let them.
How are you? I'm Trudy. Good to meet you.
Maybe Trudy can help.
Hello, how are you? Good, thanks. All right, sounds like you've got a bit of a problem on your hands. What's going on?
Well, from Australia, we come over about a year and a half ago to buy this boat. Now, we were going to take it back to Cairns, and I thought, OK, I'll take it to Langkawi Island. The thing was getting low on fuel, I was getting low on funds, I wanted to go home. I've been away for about 3 or 4 weeks or something, and at Langkawi it was pretty sick, the boat.
The Jim Jam blew a gearbox in Malaysia, and because it was going to cost $61,000 to ship it back to Australia, Hartley decided to get it fixed on the spot and moor it back in Thailand. And that's when things went topsy-turvy.
Took it to Phuket town and slipped it.
OK.
The harbour master couldn't talk any English, he was hopeless, it was shocking, and we got nowhere with him. He said,
If only Thai spoke Aussie.
I get frustrated when Australians complain to me about Thais not being able to speak good English. It's not up to them to speak English. We're a guest in their country. They should be complaining to me about your terrible Thai.
I thought that bit of paper was enough to get me out of the country.
Yeah.
So we go then on Friday, we thought, oh, we're going to have a damn good holiday now. We'll leave the boat and we'll go up to Burma. They wouldn't let me go out. They said, your wife can go. He called me a captain. But really, I'm just the owner of the boat, and that's my wife. And so I went crooked. I said,
Did you show them that bit of paper?
I showed that bit of paper. I says, I'm not a bloody cap, I'm not the stuffing captain. I threw that bit of paper. I said, there's my bloody passport. And I'm not used to all this. And I got mad and they threw the passport back at me.
But it was immigration who had the last laugh.
Someone needs to be responsible for that boat. And the Thai word for the responsible person is captain. So whether or not he wants to be the captain is kind of not up to him. Someone has to be responsible for that boat. It's his boat, so it's him.
I don't want to be a captain. I just want to be a holiday.
We just want our passports, Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. So he did the right thing. Maybe you couldn't explain to him that you wanted to travel out of the country in a different way. That's all right. If you tried to leave the country on the boat, this would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But because you're trying to leave the country not
Without
on the boat, yeah, we've got a bit of a challenge. So,
it's a bugger me kind of moment.
but because you want to leave by air and not with the boat, you have to go back to Phuket Immigration and pay them a security deposit. Apparently there's a problem with people leaving their boats behind and never coming back. The Thai immigration authorities think Hartley might be trying to do a runner and leave his boat in Phuket. So they're asking him to leave a security deposit, which makes them think that he'll have a reason to come back. So they need you to pay 20,000 baht security deposit and leave it there. And then they will give you a stamp in your passport. We've got a police captain's phone number for you who speaks perfect English.
Oh, yeah? Where's that?
In Phuket
Thailand?
Immigration, yeah.
This has helped. At least
It has.
Found someone that can talk English and get on with it.
It's that simple. Pay some baht, crisis averted.
Thank you.
The sun lovers are free to chase more summer sun in Burma.
Oh, we'll get to see old Thailand.
On with the holiday.
In downtown Bangkok, Sean and baby Ava have arrived at the neonatal hospital,
You can breathe a big sigh of relief now.
where doctors confirm the holes in her heart will most likely require open heart surgery.
Ava, getting a scan.
I'm really feeling for Danielle, who's at home. She must be so worried. She's got a baby who could be really sick in Bangkok, and she knows what it's like to lose a child. She must be scared out of her mind.
For now, Ava's under 24-hour supervision to stop her from going into heart failure. Sean is praying that his little girl will make it through another night. But Ava's not the only one who needs medical attention. Bodybuilder Nathan remains in hospital with 40 stitches and a seriously infected leg.
They found that his wound wasn't properly taken care of. He's lucky. I've read enough autopsy reports to know that septicemia is not something you want to have.
4 time zones and 3 flights later, Mum Wendy has flown in to the rescue.
I couldn't get here quick enough, and the flight was like about half an hour early this morning, so I just got in the cab and come straight here.
But Wendy isn't just here to be by her son's bedside. Nathan has racked up a $4,000 hospital bill that's growing daily. To pay for it, Mum Wendy has taken out a personal loan.
Hello.
Hi, Mummy, how are you?
Hi, darling.
just want to get you home. There's this debt hanging over her head, really. You know, we always have parents trying to fix the problem that their children have created.
At the embassy, Trudy and her colleagues are having a private screening of the GoPro crash cam that will determine Nathan's fate.
Tell me if you think it's his fault or theirs.
Because he's in front of them, so he couldn't see what's coming behind.
I just got hit by a fucking car.
Both the embassy team and Nathan are hoping that the footage will prove he was not at fault. But ultimately, it's up to the Phuket police to decide.
I don't know really with the Thai rules. They could lock me up, keep me here and make me a Thai citizen. I don't know, I'm not too sure.
Coming up, the miracle Twiblings.
Hey, you want to see your son?
Breaking hearts on both sides of the world.
We desperately need to get her home.
And Nathan's showdown at the cop shop.
I'm not in the wrong.
There is a tendency that often the foreigner will get blamed in situations like this.
Fucking corrupt country.
In Phuket, Mum Wendy and bodybuilder Nathan arrive at the police station to hand over the GoPro footage of the accident. To Nathan's surprise, the tuk-tuk driver who ran him off the road is also here. And he seems pretty chummy with the local cops.
Fucking corrupt country.
If found in the wrong, Nathan is facing a minimum of $5,000 for the Harley damaged in the crash. Money that he or his mum, who's already taken out a loan for his hospital bills, just do not have.
Want to give the video recorder?
Oh, yes.
I am still nervous about the outcome, even though I've seen the footage, because there is a tendency that often the foreigner will get blamed in situations like this.
I'm not in the wrong.
The investigating officer replays the footage frame by frame. As the tuk-tuk driver gives the police a running commentary, Nathan's wondering why it's taking them so long to come to a verdict. Finally, the investigating officer announces her decision.
We know that is not your fault.
Yep. Okay.
Nathan is proven innocent.
Nicky handlebar.
And in a stroke of luck, a rarity in the land of smiles, the tuk-tuk was insured.
The insurance company will pay for this.
Mum Wendy can't hide her relief. She'll be refunded the $4,000 she spent on her son's medical bills. Case closed.
Hopefully it won't be long and we can go home. Sorry, I just feel really emotional.
Yeah, the police have been pretty legit, so get back to Australia, mate, and start boosting up again.
If only Sean was going home too. He's at his rented Bangkok apartment, filled with never-used baby essentials. It's a constant reminder that his daughter is in hospital with a life-threatening heart condition. At the embassy, the pressure's on to fast-track Ava's passport to get her home and into specialist cardio care.
What the embassy can do for Sean and Ava is to help her get her passport as quickly as possible so she can get on the flight and make it home in time to have the appointment with a new cardiologist in Melbourne.
Hello? Oh, there he is.
Hey, you want to see your son?
Look at him, he's changed so much.
But first, Sean and Danielle need to prove to immigration that Ava is in fact their biological child and an Australian citizen.
I got the confirmation from FedEx that it was received at the DNA lab in Sydney, so...
Brilliant. In 12 days, we have a big appointment with one of the top cardiologists at the Children's. It's very hard to get these appointments. They're months in the making, but there's been a cancellation and we desperately need to get her home.
In Vietnam, the consular team has seen just about everything. That is, until John, an electrician from Brisbane, rocks up.
I had my passport stolen from a taxi. And I've come in and reported it and needed an emergency replacement passport, but I needed it in a specific time bracket to get my dog home.
First time that I've come across an Australian tourist that can't get home because of his dog.
John came to Vietnam for a 2-month holiday with his wife Steph and pet Staffy, Hectic. To say it's been a hectic holiday is an understatement.
Paid $2,500 to fly him here, and we thought it would be the same price to get him home. And when we landed, we found out it was a different story, and here we are, pretty much, you know.
That 2 months turned into 2 years, thanks to Hectic.
I brought him here, and when I was brought up, I was always told, you know, if you go out before, you come home before. So we brought him here and bringing him home.
But for John and Hectic, it's not that simple. Coming up.
He's on a flight this afternoon, and he'll need this to get through immigration.
Baby Ava's airport drama. Will she go into heart failure? At the consulate in Ho Chi Minh City, John the Sparky and Hectic the Staffy are fighting an uphill battle to get home. Vietnam is a Category 5 country for rabies, which means it's extremely difficult to bring a dog back to Australia after it's spent time here.
Flew him over with us, and we had no idea. There was nothing in their disclaimers, nothing in the forms they'd given us, nothing. We just had no idea.
After 12 months of blood tests to prove Hectic is rabies-free, he's about to be cleared to travel to Taiwan.
His plan is to go to Taiwan because Australia doesn't accept animals directly from Vietnam.
But here's the rub. If and when Hectic's tests come back clean, they'll have just 1 week to leave the country, or they'll have to start the process all over again.
I can get birth certificate.
And John doesn't have a passport.
We can't give you a guarantee when the full validity passport's going to be returned here.
Which means he's expired and I'm stuck here for another 12 months.
No. Quarantine requires certain things to be done at certain times. If you can't keep to that timeline, too bad, start again. This ain't your day.
Yeah.
Will Hectic ever get home? In Bangkok, Sean is at the embassy to collect his daughter's citizenship papers and passport. Baby Ava is finally stable enough to travel.
Just consular services today?
Ava has holes in her heart and may need to undergo open heart surgery in Melbourne.
So we've just done it in time. He's on a flight this afternoon, and he'll need this to get through immigration. So lucky for him, everything came together. There's your passport, awesome. Which you'll need.
Thank you.
That's Ava's passport. All the best.
Yeah, thanks very much.
I'm glad it's all worked out.
You've been fantastic.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
So good.
I'm
Cheers.
expecting you to change your middle name to Trudy, right?
Done.
Okay.
Somebody cap. All good, going home.
The little Aussie passport, a guaranteed lifeline back home. No matter where you are in the world. In Vietnam, it's D-Day. John's fur child is off to the vet for his final checkup to determine if he can leave Ho Chi Minh City.
It's a life changer.
And start his journey back to Australia.
Having a puppy and having the responsibility of taking care of him when you put yourself in a silly situation, I guess.
Unable to work for the last 2 years, John has spent a small fortune on Hectic.
Oh, well, I've had to sell jet ski, road bike, dirt bike, a Honda Prelude, partnership in car wash business and partnership in a property.
Now that he has no more assets to sell, it's crunch time for Hectic.
Now we need to do some tests to make sure that the dog have enough antibody to against rabies before going to Australia.
Hectic's future hangs in the balance.
Sit. Hey, sit down. Come on. Concentrate.
To be safe, we got up to fly from Taiwan to Australia.
Drop.
Hectic's good to go.
Hey, good boy. Sleep. Thank you very much, guys, huh?
But his dad's still stuck without a passport.
So I think it's a matter
John's canine crisis is close to Consular Officer Richard's heart.
I had a chocolate lab that I brought up to Vietnam with me. Me and my partner had planned this family holiday with the fur child to spend 45 days in Europe to get him back to Australia. But he passed away. I know I'm about to go home soon and my heart's broken that he's not coming with us.
John's putting on a brave face.
Oh, he's so tough. So tough.
But deep down, he's on tenterhooks.
We may get a passport in time to go together. And get you home, you little freckle.
Twee has just received the latest batch of new passports from Canberra.
Hopefully John's passport is in this one.
I've been preparing for this moment for so long.
Coming up, the Twiblings' reunion of a lifetime. In Vietnam, John and Hectic are on their way to the consulate where John hopes his new passport is waiting for him. If it's not there, John and Hectic face the prospect of another long year of blood tests.
Oh, I'd have to grab a fishing boat. Hopefully they pick me up on the waters coming in if I make it there, you know? Shit, I mean, if I had to do another year, I'd have to do another year. I just don't know how.
Staying another year in Ho Chi Minh City would also be disastrous for John's marriage. His wife Steph left 3 months ago to return to Australia for work.
It's had its strain. We've had our moments, but we get through it, you know? Our relationship's pretty much been on a halt since we've worked out that we've been stuck here. We try to make the best of it, but it does get on top of you.
For Steph, John and Hectic, it all boils down to this moment.
We have quite a lot. Yeah, that's him here. So, oh, lucky him.
Here's your new passport. So what I want to do is just give you to this and just you have a check of it to make sure that everything's okay with the details.
Your last name's spelled wrong. I'm joking.
Perfect. You win for that one.
Sorry.
That's good. That's a good one. I'll give you $10 for that one. Okay, buddy. All the best.
I'll let you know and I'll send you a picture of Hectic on the Aussie beach.
Aussie beach back in Queensland.
Yeah, with a snag and a VB. Appreciate it.
Look after yourself. See ya. Take care.
Thank you. Hectic, look. Look what I've got. We're gonna go see Mama. You wanna see Mama? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss for Mama.
Hectic made it to Taiwan, but just as he was about to fly back to Australia, he got a urinary tract infection. John's still trying to get him home to the Gold Coast. Poor Hectic. A mother's love. There's nothing quite like it. In Melbourne, Danielle with baby Ethan is at the airport to meet husband Sean and their daughter Ava, who she's only ever seen in photos and videos.
Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. It's landed. It's landed. I'm going to see my little girl so soon. I've been preparing for this moment for so long. Can't believe it's finally happening.
Danielle's best friend Renee, who is baby Ethan's surrogate, and her family are also here to welcome baby Ava.
So excited. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Here we go. Oh my God. Sweet.
Hello, little man.
much. This is Ava. Oh, baby. Oh my God, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. This is your sister.
That's your
This
sister.
is your sister. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.
Hello, little man.
Oh, sweetheart. Sweetheart.
Oh, you're heavy.
Oh, darling. This is I'm your mummy. I'm your mummy. I love you.
This family, that has been 10 years in the making, is finally united.
Oh my God, we did it. We did it. We finally. Oh my gosh.
And so ends another day in Australia, where dreams can come true.
There you go.
Baby Ava didn't have to have open heart surgery. And instead of breaking hearts, the Twiblings are now melting hearts. The very last to be made in Bangkok. Commercial surrogacy is now totally illegal in Thailand. Next week on The Embassy,
5 beer every day in the minibar.
he ransacked the minibar and won't pay up. But Rodney has a bigger problem.
So his visa's expired, so he's here illegally.
He did get such a big blow, that in the front of his head and in the back of the head.
And they went looking for ping pong bars. Now it's situation critical for Daniel.
Every mother's nightmare, worst day. Never remember.
They like Dumber and Dumber.
And an Aussie bromance backfires.
He had like a cut in his face somewhere. Lost all my money, my passport.
What happens when you wrestle with ladyboys?